Hello, everybody, here on Trading Within the Box here on December 9th at 11:26 a.m. We're going to go over some stocks after the week was over here. I want to thank everybody for coming to the channel. First of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, sell any options, stocks, equities, futures, or Forex. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact licensed professional or the brokerage house of your choice, and they will help you there. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. Okay, so now we got on the S&P 500. Okay, so now on the S&P 500, now I want to show you something right now. We're crossing over on the stochastic up. Okay, so then we go to the volume, and then let's see exactly what they're doing. Okay, so first of all, let's bring the chart back. Okay, trading within the box. Okay, right here. Okay, so where are we right now? Okay, we're in that box. We just popped our head above water. Okay, so this is right here in this area right here. Okay, let's just say we're below water right now. Okay, right. Okay, so now we pop our head right here. Now on the S&P 500, if you look at this on a candlestick from July 27, 2023. Okay, let's go over the volume. We had 92.19 million shares. We went into that on Friday with 83 million. Okay, so let's just break it down as we always do. We look under the hood, and as we look under the hood, what do we see here? Okay, so we are on a 2-hour chart here. Okay, so we have the pre-market is mixed in here with the shades of like that grayish blue, and then that pinkish area right there in the background. You'll see the pre-market. Okay, so when they came off on Friday morning, pre-market, we came down pre-market, and then we had a capitulation candlestick on a 2-hour chart going into the opening there. Okay, so what did that tell you? Okay, so that they weren't selling this market Friday. Okay, going into the weekend, they were buying this market going into the weekend. Okay, so that's pretty strong. Okay, look at where the support level was when we broke down and we went into trading within the box right here. Okay, then what happened was we held the moving average on Friday. Okay, so that means we went into the weekend right there with pretty solid, I'm not saying strength or anything like that, but it was pretty solid going into the weekend. So that resistance line on the daily chart, okay, is up here at 463.42. So now we made a new high going into the weekend. Okay, let's see if we could tag that 463.42. Right now it's 460.20 on Saturday, on December 9th here. Okay, so let's see. We're holding the moving average strong. Now on the 9-day moving average, look how we're holding it. Okay, we just keep holding it right there. Okay, so I don't want to waste too much time on the S&P 500. Let's go to the XLF, which is the bank basket. And the banks always tell you which way, is the market strong or it's not. Because down here, when we gapped up right here, we knew the market was stronger. We were heading into this area right here, and we did. Okay, at that 35.13. And we did videos on that back during that time on November 10th or whatever, 13th or whatever it was. So that's something that you'll always have to look at and know your barometer with the bank basket. Look at the bank basket, you know what's actually happening. Now on a line chart, let's see what's happening here. So could we be getting, now we don't know for sure, we could be getting this little pullback here. We'll hold the moving average and we'll just keep heading up, okay, right there. Or are we getting this, where we get the setup, where we get the M formation, then we get the pullback, okay? So that's something that I'm continuously watching. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody, exactly knows exactly what's happening. But what's my channel about? Trading within the box here on the daily chart. We have a sideways consolidation here. So this market could go, keep creeping up as you go sideways too. That happens all the time. But let's see as we go into these areas, okay, we want to see if we're going to hit it with lighter volume. Now we are going into this resistance area at the 36.33, okay? So that's something that we have to watch. Now, on On the SMH, the semiconductor basket, which is the ETF. Now, on Thursday, on December 7th, the volume was 8.79 million shares, going after the swing point on November 29th at 7.634 million shares. Okay, so we got good volume going into the swing point here. Okay, so we came in, so we should tag it, and then we're going into 9.1 million shares, okay, on the candlestick coming down from November 22nd. So let's see if there's a little pressure in this spot right here. Okay, we have a stochastic that had pulled back on the SMH, and now we crossed and we're heading up in the sweet spot. Now, let's see. Now, how do we know? So you say, well, I don't know. Am I hitting resistance right in this spot here? Now, how am I going to know? Let's go over to a 2-hour chart. Now, on the 2-hour chart, they bought into the weekend here, okay, on the semis. Okay, but now, you could get a little bit of a pullback coming into Monday or Tuesday. Because why? You have overhead pressure right here at the 164.02 range. Right now, you're at 162.48, the close of the week. Okay? So, that's something that you had a little... Watch what happened here on... Now, this is Friday, okay? This is Friday morning from here to the aftermarket hours, which were these two candlesticks. You held the moving average and capitulation buying, okay? You came up midday, took their profits, came right back to the moving average and bought again. Okay, right at the end of the market, you had the doji and then buying in the aftermarket. So that's something that's pretty solid. Let's go to IWM. Now, IWM, look at IWM right now. We're trading within the box on IWM. So on IWM, right here, okay, you'll see it creeping into that area with the high volume downdraft there, okay? As we're creeping into it with lower volume on the 2-hour chart. Now let's go over to the daily chart and let's see what's happening here. Now, we had a little bit of reversal candlestick here on December 23rd. Now we're going into 43 million shares yesterday with 36. So let's see if we might get a sideways thing going on here. Let's see if we get this kind of thing, one of these a little bit on the small caps, okay? Because remember, we had a surge of energy here on the December 1st, okay? So we had a surge of energy, a huge velocity candlestick here, okay? Massive on the small caps, okay? So we had this sideways move, which was right here. There was indecision. Look at all the dojis as we kept moving up and down into this area. Then, boom! That was the ticket. Now we're probably going to get a little sideways again because that's how they move, and that's how they hold markets sideways too. Okay, so now let's get out of there. Let's go over to the old world Microsoft, okay? So now Microsoft, let's go over to the line chart first. Now we have a W formation right here, okay? Look at the W right there. Right, exactly there, okay? So that's good because let's look at the volume and actually see what's actually happening. Look at the engulfing. Now look at Microsoft here for a second. I want to show you something here. Okay, now nothing's ever exact. We can go sideways and get one of these things where we just go like this kind of thing for a little bit. Okay, but let's see if we get the higher lows and we start moving up. Now, Microsoft, yesterday's volume was 20 million shares. Okay, we're going into 33 here. So we could have a little bit of going into this gap down, which was right there. We could have a little overhead pressure right here. But Microsoft's a power stock. So once the train starts leaving, everybody starts jumping on Microsoft, okay? So now the volume is really nice and good on the 2-hour chart, okay? On Friday, buying, okay? Buying on Friday, but you have a resistance area on the 2-hour chart. Now, you could get a little bit of a pullback and then head up, or you can go sideways and head up, okay? So let's see what they do with Microsoft. Now, on the 45-minute chart here, okay, look at the 45-minute chart. Buying yesterday, sideways consolidation after market, okay? So let's see what they end up doing on Monday if this gets a little bit of a pullback, and then we head back up again. I'm talking about intraday pullback there, okay? On the daily chart, you had an engulfing off the right side of a W, which is pretty solid, okay? So you have a downdraft of 29 million on the 29th of November. Okay, 30 million followed by a 33, going into it with 20. So let's see if we start increasing a volume and start going into these areas. So you're coming into the candlestick from December 1st, that was 33 million down, coming into it with 20. So it's a little light on the volume, okay? It's a little light. So let's see what happens here if we're going to go after this high of, which was on the 29th of November at 384.30, okay? Now on Apple, let's go over to Apple because we're lagging along here today. Now on Apple, of course, what had happened was you were trading within the box on the sideways consolidation, okay, for a while, okay? So you had how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of trading within the box, okay? That's very frustrating, okay? Because you're like, what's going on here? I don't know what's happening. You know, if you're trading, it's very, very frustrating. If you're day trading the stock, it's also very frustrating, okay? But you get the sideways move, and when they're long like this, and you get the engulfing, and you add engulfing with volume, look at that, okay? You knew that you were heading up, okay? All right, you're going to get a little rest of a candlestick right there. That was not, anything there to worry about. And increasing volume again as we're heading up to the 198.55. Right now it's 195.71, okay? So on Apple, pull back your chart and know where you are, okay? Now be careful up here because we've got a supply area. As you head up into the supply area, which is 196.35 to 197, in that range, within that range, you better be careful, okay? Because it's moving into it for the first time. And a lot of times when they move into those areas the first time, you get a pullback first, then we'll see what happens thereafter, okay? So going into a swing point from July 19th, okay, with 80 million shares, but we're going up into that area with 66, okay? So we're going into, and actually yesterday we were going in with 53 million shares. So got to be careful here as you're going into this area here, okay, with lighter volume. Okay, so just that's, people look at it and they say, well, they forget about that the trade that started down here on October 23rd, October 30th, November 1st, let's say wherever you got in, at 173 or 167, and now you're at 195. This is a trader's market, okay? You remember what I told you? This is a bull market run on Apple back here, okay? And when was that? That was down on March 2nd all the way to July 27th and 8th or whatever, okay? That's what a bull market looks like when it's a bull run and it's solid. When you start getting this stuff right here, and then let's say you get this again, and start this is broken market, okay? It's a broken market, okay, compared to what we just went over right there, to a bull run. That's what a bull run looks like. So that's something that you always have to keep in the back of your mind going into 2024, okay? Now, 2024, not a mind reader or anything like that, but we just have to be very careful because we don't know what's around the corner, okay? Now, get the sideways consolidation on Amazon. Look at Amazon here. Look at the sideways move, okay? This is either distribution or accumulation, okay? So one way or another, it's going to pop to the upside or it's going to pop to the downside. And when it does, it's going to be furious, okay? Now, obviously, we're in the holidays here, so we should have some good movements to the upside with retail. And they're the number one retailer, right? So 152.33. Let's see if they go after that. Okay, we had volume on December 7th at 52 million shares going into 53. Okay, so let's see if we just keep bouncing around in that area, or if at one point we just bounce, and then boom, we crawl up to the spot. That could very well happen. Moving average will follow. Okay, that's something that you have to. Obviously, we always keep watching. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, just following money here, okay? So now on Tesla, okay, now on Tesla, watch the line chart here, okay? And now on Tesla, right here, if you get this little thing like this, you'll get a W. You get the retest. And if you get past the 248.50, you could head up to 262.60. Right now it's 243.84, okay? That's, again, following the money. We're not saying predictions here or anything like that, okay? Now on the 2-hour chart, look how solid it's just holding the line, okay? It's holding the moving average, the 20-day, okay? It's just holding the moving average. Now when you look at the volume here, look at a little bit of higher lows, right? You have the higher lows. Look at the volume coming off here, okay? Okay, you have a little bit of a profit taker right there. Okay, so we're going into supply area. That's why the first time it hit it, it sold off right there, okay? And that was a profit take, okay? So on the 45-minute chart, look at Tesla's volume, though, okay? Look at Tesla's volume, pretty nice, actually. So we're going to continue to keep watching that, okay? They're flipping you all over the place on Tesla because why? Because you're in this range here, okay? Let's look at the range that you're in. Look at the range that you're in. You're in a little bit of a rangy area here, okay? So that's a lot of times you get that accumulation, or you get the distribution area. Let's go over to HD, which is Home Depot, and on Home Depot, we've been following this one all the way up, and look at this as it keeps closing higher and higher. Now watch this. I'm going to stretch the chart out for you. Look how it just keeps closing higher and higher and higher, okay? So closing higher, closing higher, closing higher. You had a doji closed higher, closed higher. Small little nothing profit taking, right? Come back to the moving average, capitulation candlestick, buy. Okay, then you get engulfing, okay? You get another surge of buying. Close higher, close higher, close higher, close higher. Again, close higher with dojis. Now you're losing steam. Now look at the dojis up here, okay? Look at the dojis. Now you're losing steam on Home Depot for now. You get up and above, but you're holding, okay? So as the moving average starts catching up, let's say over here, look how strong this is, okay? It's like a step up, step. We could move sideways, and then we go, boom, we get the engulfing, and we start heading to the 335.92 range, okay? Now, we've been following this thing for a while here, okay? Remember it gapped up and it held, and we were watching it here in this area on like November 14th in that area, and then we had this little sideways move right there, remember? And then, boom, we broke out again. And so, since $300 or whatever, 302, 303, now look at it. Look how it blossomed. Look how it went up, and it's doing so well, okay? Now we go over the 2-hour chart, okay? Look at the 2-hour chart. And we're in a sideways consolidation on the 2-hour chart. So now we're waiting for breakout again here, okay? Remember, I just told you have the step pattern here. Look at the steps. That's solid. It's very solid for now. Remember, we made a big move already. Now look at the volume as you're stepping up, how solid it is in these areas. But now look how it's tapering off, okay, in this spot. Now once it tapers off, look how it tapered off down here a little bit, then boom, we got the move, okay? So we could taper off, get a little rest, and then boom, we could get the move again, okay, on Home Depot. So that's something that you're going to have to keep watching, as I always keep repeating myself. Now you're up and above, and you're holding above the resistance line. So now this becomes the new support line here, okay, on Home Depot. Now let's go over quickly to Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, look at the engulfing Friday, the buying that came in here Friday, okay? So we had the sideways consolidation, and that was for a lot of days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then you had the doji on the 12th day, okay? And then you got the gift then right there with a massive volume at 3.6 million shares with an engulfing. You come back to the moving average. Like I say, you always come home. You always got to come back to that moving average. And then look how it's riding the 9-day moving average, EMA, exponential moving average, okay? And it's heading up now to this 356. Now let's go over the 45-minute chart, and let's actually see really what's happening underneath the hood. Okay, now this was a beauty right before the market opened. They gave you the answer right there. Okay, they gave you the answer that they were going up right there. Okay, now look at the profit taking here, as we were talking about the sideways move, and then we have a little increasing volume there. Okay, and we're profit taking at the end of the day on Goldman Sachs. Now, let's go over to Caterpillar, because we've been watching Caterpillar, and that's another one we've been watching, and we got to move faster here because we don't have that much time. So on Caterpillar, look at how they go up and then they take profit. The capitulation candlestick right there. Go up, boom, push it right down. Go up, boom, they take their profits because you're going where? You're in a resistance spot right here, okay? And you got this huge downdraft candlestick right there. So that's not a surprise, okay? That's not a surprise at all. Look how the first time it moved into this monster coming down, how it sold down. Well, you know, they took profits. But it's still enough to scare anybody out, okay? Then you got the buy signal, the boom. The buy signal when we were talking about it, remember? I said if you ever see these, okay? Remember, I said this a bunch of times. If you ever see this thing below the moving average, okay, and you see this, you'll see that, and then it crawled a little bit. We were wondering what was going to happen in resistance, okay? But we were waiting for it, okay? We knew that the box was in this area here, okay? So we knew we had to get out of this range to get up and above, and then look at that, okay? Look how strong it was on the ride up, okay? But whenever you see this right here, that's a huge buy signal right there. It may not come exactly when you want it to come. See how it just crawled up? And then, but it did eventually come. And there it was right there, right in front of your face. So whenever you see those are beautiful, beautiful buy signals. Okay. Now let's go over to Duke Energy right now. And let's see how much time we have. About 7 or 8 minutes left. Now Duke Energy, remember what I told you when we were down over in this area. We were at the resistance area, and we had to see if we were going to get up and above. We held with beautiful volume right there. We held, we closed higher, we had a little bit of BS profit taking right there, and then boom, we got right up again, 94.25. Now we're up in the resistance area, and we got a little more profit taking right there. Okay, let's go over again, as I sound like a broken record, let's go over to the 2-hour chart here. And what do we see? Okay, so they came in a little bit, right, yesterday, and a little bit of buying here again. But you have to get out of this area. You got to get out of the woods here. Okay, you're in a sideways right now. So you got to get, if you break out above one in a golfing that looks like that, or like that, right in this area right there, you'll be moving up to the upside. Okay. Now, so that was on Duke Energy. Let's go over to Costco, as we always, the power stock, the monster, Costco. And remember, Costco here, let's pull it back. Look at the ride we've had here on Costco, okay? Look at the ride. Look at the higher lows. Look at the higher lows. Now, sometimes you'll get a little bit of a red candlestick there, but that's a buy signal as it moves up, okay? It's another buy signal right there, okay? So you'll see right now you're trading within the box again. So let's see what they do if they hold the resistance area, which became support, if they're going to go up or if they're going to start pulling this back again, okay? Let's see what they do on that, on Costco. That's something that just days are going to tell what's going to happen there, okay? Remember this, you have earnings on December 14th, so be very careful on Costco. Obviously, it's a powerhouse, right? Especially with an economy that's not doing that good. Now, as you look at GDX, let's go over to the gold market right now, and we have the gold miners. So now, the gold miners, where I drew this pink area right here, you see this pink line that I drew? Okay, this was a major supplier when we were looking at the order flow. Okay, there was a major selling off in this spot. So look what happened as it went into it for the first time. Boom. It shorted it right down. Okay. Shorted it right down. Now, as you look at, you have a doji right here, and you have the stochastic moving down. Look at the doji you have right here as it's pulling back. So this is something that we want to see if we can get another run to the top with the gold miners. Okay. Now, look at this. Now, here's a sell signal, a huge sell signal at the top on a 2-hour chart if you're following GDX. Boom. Right there. And when was that? Okay, that was in the pre-market, okay, on December 4th, okay? Then you get the follow-through with the next big seller right there, okay? With the volume coming down. Now, you know right there that if you see that, you got to take your profit, okay? Now, you come down, you're below the moving average here. Now, it pops its head up. This is a reversal of what I showed you on Caterpillar on a 2-hour chart. Boom, another sell signal right there. So you have time to get to, let's say you're still in it, but if you're short, that's a happy feeling for yourself right there. And then followed by another engulfing down, okay? So now, okay, we still have some selling volume coming down here. So let's see if we get this come back up, and then we follow it down to this area right here, okay? Let's see. So that's something that we're going to keep following. And then you might come down to this area here, and then you might start getting this stuff kicking in again. Okay, so remember this though, right in this spot, right here, right in this spot. Look at this volume right there. Let's draw a box across and see where that is. Okay, so that's we passed it already. Okay, we passed that buying area. So let's see if we go down to the next level here. Okay, which is going to be down into this candlestick, which was at 29.06. Let's see if we get down to that area. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart because we're at the end of the week, and look at this. Okay, let's see. Gold, could be volatile at times. We came up, we came back down. Let's see if it holds this moving average, and then we kind of lurk around, and then we retested again. Okay. So when we came up last week, not this week, but last week, which was the week of November 27th, we came up with 133.6 million shares. We went into it with 75. So that's really strong right there, then a profit take, okay? So it's really strong going into that swing point. Let's see if we get another buy chance coming back up into that area, okay, on GDX. Okay, let's move fast here. Let's go fast. Silver. Sorry, wrong signal. Wrong symbol. We got silver, SLV. Okay. SLV, look at that. Profit taking right where? That's why when you're in the resistance, you have to take the profits. Boom, right there. The pivot point chart tells you exactly where to take the profit. Okay. Now you're at support. Okay. Now you're at a support. You're at a buying spot on silver. Okay. Let's see if it holds. Now, if it breaks and it keeps going low, we're going to head down to this area right here into this gap. Okay. Let's see what happens there. The US dollar, let's go over that, and we saw the pop from the downside here. Okay, let's see what's happening now with the dollar. Okay, let's see. So we do have sellers here on the dollar also. Okay, so we got to be careful here. Let's go to a weekly chart on the dollar. So what we do is we bounce off, we come back, we bounce off, we get the dojis on the weekly, and we get a little bit of a bounce. Now we could get a little bit of a bounce and then fail. Okay, let's see what they do, because gold is relatively strong November, December into January. Okay, that's the time when they usually go up. Not saying they always go up that time, but that's when they usually go up. Okay, so wrapping this thing up, we got Dominion Energy Incorporated here, and right here we're at the right here we got the sideways consolidation here. So when this thing breaks, whether it breaks up or down, it's going to be a violent move one way or the other. Because look how the accumulation or the distributions in place there. Nvidia, let's go to Nvidia, and Nvidia. Now watch the line chart. Okay, look at the W formation. Look at this W. Look at this gorgeous W formation. You're in a sweet spot right there. Okay, now watch this. Watch this. Let's go over to the candlesticks here, okay? So let's see what's happening. Now, how do we know? let's go to a weekly chart because we want to know what's happening with NVIDIA. Okay, look at this sideways move here. Okay, this is trading within the box at its finest. Okay, right there. Look at that. Okay, that's actually a sideways move from the week of July 3rd till now. Okay, you were in a trading range on NVIDIA. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, well, NVIDIA, yeah, okay. Well, if you got it down here, you did insane. Now you're in a sideways consolidation, a long-term sideways consolidation on the weekly chart here, okay? Now, on a daily chart, let's go over to 2 hour. The 2 hour chart for over the next few days, what is it telling you? Okay, let's say it goes, you got good volume, and you come back up into the 482.89 range, okay? But then why? Now be careful here, because right there's the profit taking, and there's the little sell-off area, okay? So just be careful. You're in a sideways consolidation. There was the support, and there's the resistance. You're in a sideways consolidation here on NVIDIA, okay? Procter & Gamble, as they took the profits here, look at this, okay? So we had the engulfing up, but then always in this market have to take the profits in the resistance spot. Look at this. And then boom. Look at that monster right there coming down. And then look at that selling. Okay. So we could very well go down to this 141 or 142.01 area right there. Okay. Okay. And with that said, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Went over the stocks that we've been following since November. I hope this helps everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, a wonderful trading week too. And we just keep following the money. Have a great day.